Hi, this is Sayu Rinpoche. You're watching $100 Challenge from Vancouver to Victoria. In the last episode, we traveled from Vancouver to Victoria via public transport. SkyTrain, bus, BC Ferries, and bus again. This time, we'll resume our Victoria Weekend Getaway Challenge and explore British Columbia's capital city. So for this challenge, now we'll see if we can do $180 per day for this 2-day trip from Vancouver to Victoria. After paying the transportation cost to reach Victoria, as well as the cost for accommodation, we're standing at $104.20, with an average daily cost of $52.10. Yeah, we have already spent over $100 on the first day, with the average cost already halfway through. But I wasn't worried, because I only got to pay for the accommodation once, and that's the most expensive part. The rest is all going to be having fun in Victoria. Our first stop. Hey folks, so I'm right now at Victoria's Chinatown. So Victoria's Chinatown is the oldest Chinatown in Canada. It's also the second oldest in North America after the one in San Francisco. What makes Victoria's Chinatown special? Well, right before the Canadian government decided to ban Chinese immigration in 1923, this Chinatown had more residents than all areas of modern-day downtown Victoria combined in the early 2000s. Imperial China's top politician even paid a visit to Victoria's Chinese community when he visited Canada in the late 1800s. Like mentioned in the previous episode, Sir John A. Macdonald's government started to impose restrictions on Chinese immigration, with one notable hefty tax called the head tax that's exclusively applied to only Chinese immigrants. In 1923, Chinese immigration to Canada was banned, much like the Chinese Exclusion Act in the United States. After that, Victoria's Chinatown went into a steady decline. Today, there is almost no Chinese community living inside Victoria's Chinatown. It's pretty much a tourist attraction nowadays, but you can still find traces of that lively community that was once here some 100 years ago. Once exiting the Fantan Alley, you'll find yourself in a different kind of Victoria. South of Pandora Street is pretty much like Victoria's answer to Vancouver's Yaletown, a former warehouse and industrial district turned into trendy entertainment district. guess what? I found a brewery located inside the market square. I ordered a flight of tasters. They were all pretty good. The brewery even threw in a free birthday fruit tart because it was the anniversary of the brewery's opening. After the beer on a hot day, I moved into the core area of downtown Victoria. Here you see a large number of European-style buildings. People say that Victoria is more British than Britain, and there's a good reason according to one urban legend. To ensure that Victoria is presented as an Euro-Canadian oriented and built city, rather than being overtly influenced by the large Chinese community who were already there with a remarkable presence. The Victoria Inner Harbour. Today is one of those record-breaking days. It's pretty hot, so my phone already sent me the message that it's gonna shut down due to the hot temperature. I mean, come on, seriously? Last time, same thing. You know, when I took my phone to Churchill, they told me it's too cold. Now it's saying it's too hot. Geez, phone, what can I expect from you? I was about to take you on a trip to Saudi Arabia. Being a coastal city with a harbor, Victoria has a rich marine heritage. The nearby Esquimalt is home to the Royal Canadian Navy. I've never been there myself, and we're not visiting there on this trip. Let's focus on Victoria. So the castle-looking building in the background, that's the provincial legislature of British Columbia. So that's where the government of British Columbia is based. So if you recall seeing our series in Yukon and Manitoba, we have visited the legislature building in both provinces/territory. And this building right here, that's the Fairmont Empress Hotel. So this hotel, like the Hotel Vancouver and also the Fort Garry Hotel in Winnipeg, this is one of those Grand Railway hotels built by the Canadian Pacific Railway. Yeah, but I do have one question though, like there isn't any railway on Vancouver Island. You know what? I later realized that I was wrong. Vancouver Island did have railways. In a different episode, we're actually going to visit one former section of the railway that once connected Victoria to the Comox Valley. To better appreciate the grand architecture of the British Columbia Legislature, I moved up close. However, I did realize that there were a couple of things unusual. No, it's not this giant orca balloon here. Can you spot it? Yeah, I'm talking about all the toys behind me. This is the place where the province's top politicians meet. Why are these toys here? Even the sign says the building is closed to the public, possibly due to the global event of 2020 and 2021. Why are there orange shirts laying on the steps? In May of 2021, a previously hidden mass grave was discovered with the help of modern technology at the former Kamloops Indian Residential School. The finding was both very disturbing and very sad. All of the grave sites belong to 215 indigenous children who were students at the school. This discovery in Cambrils, a city where we will be visiting later in this British Columbia adventure, was the beginning of a call for more investigations nationwide. As of September 2021, nearly 2,000 unmarked grave sites were discovered across Canada's former residential schools. If you have watched our Yukon episodes, where I first introduced to you the term Indian residential school, you'll recall a speech by Yukon legislator Liz Hansen on the story of Orange Shirt Day. These orange shirts were a way to commemorate the children who were victimized by the residential school system. For those of you who only have limited time in BC, but want to learn more about British Columbia's history and its indigenous communities, I highly recommend visiting the Royal BC Museum, because it was already late when I arrived. Plus, I've been to this museum 3 times already. I decided to opt out for this visit. There are outdoor exhibits, including the Mungo Martin House and totem poles you can visit at any time of the day. It was around dinner time. I headed to Victoria's Fisherman's Wharf, which was located on the far western side of the city. I'm gonna go grab dinner. I'm heading to Fisherman's Wharf. Yeah, so if you remember our episode in Richmond, there's also a Fisherman's Wharf over there. But unlike that one in Richmond, which is pretty much still a wharf for fishers to sell their products, this one in Victoria nowadays is pretty much just a tourist attraction for seafood restaurants and also shops. For dinner, I ordered myself a salmon burger combo at Barb's Fish and Chips. The price comes to $21.86. BC is one of the best places in the world to enjoy salmon products. Make sure you try them out when you're here, ideally sitting right next to the sea. After dinner, I went back to the downtown area. People started to come out as well as the weather cooled down. Just a little bit. We were still above 30 degrees Celsius. Like the Legislature building in Manitoba, the BC Legislature also features a statue of Queen Victoria, although a younger version. The former ruler of the British Empire is where the city where I stood got its name. The building itself is of neo-Gothic style. However, personally I found the interior of the Manitoba Legislative building much more fascinating than the BC one. But in terms of the exterior, the British Columbia Legislative building hands down wins the title against pretty much all other legislative buildings across Canada. After an evening of enjoying the amazing views of Victoria's Inner Harbour, I decided to head back to my accommodation. Because I knew it was a hot day and would be even hotter the next day, I spent $7.47 on bottled water from 7-Eleven, hoping it will help me to battle the extreme heat. What will happen next? Stay tuned for the next episode. The sun is pretty exposed right now. I thought I got a deal, but turns out it's actually a trap.